Ha ha. But anyway, being chair is not an easy job, and one that's very, very difficult. Obviously, trying to work with 13 members. We're facing some very, very significant challenges that I mentioned, but we're really committed to move ahead aggressively with our Measure R projects. And in addition to that, I mean, obviously we've had to reduce bus service in certain areas, but not to reduce for budget, but to make us more efficient. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to put together a public transportation system here that includes all forms of transportation up to and including improving our highways and high vehicle HOV lanes as well as everything else. So what we did was try to work with our partners in the municipal lines like Long Beach and Gardena and Santa Monica and others so that we don't duplicate services, so we don't have a lot of empty buses with 1 or 2 passengers coming through. So as far as driving the bus, I had a great time doing it. It was fun, but I think I'll stick to my day job. This is from Robert in Diamond Bar. When will Diamond Bar be getting a county library? Well, just recently, meeting with the Friends of the Diamond Bar Library in their recent gala, I was able to announce after a year or so of design that we'll be putting a new regional library in the Diamond Bar. The new Diamond Bar City Hall will be partners with the City of Diamond Bar. It's going to be about 30,000 square feet. In addition, the other half will be the city administrative offices. We've had a great partnership with the City of Diamond Bar, with the Friends of the Diamond Bar Library. They're going to be helping with maintenance and operations. So it's a great way to get a new library at a very reasonable deal that enhances our service levels. So hopefully we could have this open sometime in late 2012 for the entire region. It's going to benefit Rowland Heights, Hacienda Heights, and others with this new library. This is from Long Beach. What is the current status of the Terminal Avenue Drain Project? When will it be completed? Traffic is a nightmare. Well, as many of you that live or work or drive through that area know, we've completed most of the restoration along the PE right-of-way. We've placed the box along the Greenbelt area and started now on what they call the low-flow diversion structure to avoid the flooding. This should be completed by May. We started this up originally from 8th Street to Anaheim Street. The intersection at 8th Street and Terminal will remain closed until the end of June. But right now we're running about 2 months ahead and hope to be done by September instead of November. So you can also get updates online by dpw.lacounty.gov/terminal drain for more information on the project. We've also been working with the council member in the area, Gary DeLong, and trying to do some overall master planning. We've been able to provide some funds for that along the right-of-way that spans from 11th Street to the Colorado Lagoon. And so we're going to be supporting that project, and that's going to enhance the visualness of the area and improvement as well too. So again, as I said on this before, for those of you that live in the area, those of you that have to drive through the area, we truly appreciate your patience. It'll be a great project when it's through. It's going to enhance the area. It's going to avoid the flooding that has transpired down an area for years. So again, we appreciate your patience on this project. I have another question from Marina Del Rey, and obviously and this question is, with the recent earthquake and tsunami in Japan, how safe is Los Angeles County? Do we have any safety measures in place? Well, first of all, we have an emergency LA County notification system that allows our Office of Emergency Services to notify residents and businesses during emergencies through the use of phones, emails, and other outside communication opportunities should systems go down. The one thing I will tell you, I've twice made motions in regards to tsunamis. One a few years ago that people sort of laughed at me and made fun of my motion. We put together an tsunami awareness task force. We have a tsunami awareness and preparedness week here in Los Angeles County that we just recognized. So we continue to post a lot of our emergency information on Knabe.com. Would ask you to look at that as well too. But obviously some of the significant wave action of a tsunami, there are small parts towards the southern part of our beaches that may be slightly affected. Obviously the Orange County, Ventura, and others based on the facing of our beaches. But in the meantime, obviously with earthquakes and everything else, we have mutual aid agreements in place. we continue to operate and practice and do all different kinds of things as it relates to be prepared for these natural disasters, because we are subject to earthquakes as well too. The one thing as it relates to the shelf situation that happened there with the big tsunami, we don't have that off the coast of Los Angeles County. This next question was from Helen in Long Beach. Do you support continuing using fingerprints with application for food stamps and other benefits? Yes, I do. That was a long, hard fight with a lot of different fights and through the courts and everything else. And it continues to be the most effective means that we have to either detect or prevent welfare fraud. There are plenty of people, and as I told, our welfare caseloads are going up significantly because of the economy, many people using the system for the first time. That's what the system was designed for, was for those in need. There's plenty of people that know how to abuse the system. Fingerprinting has stopped the application from Long Beach, next day going to Lancaster or wherever it may be. So we've saved taxpayers millions of dollars, and it really have created an effective deterrent. So it's an absolute must that we continue that program. This is from Heidi in Redondo Beach. Supervisor, of all the programs you have instituted since you first came into office in 1996, which means the most to you, which one are you most proud of? No question. To Heidi and to everyone else, there's absolutely no question. That's a safe surrender program where a mother can take a newborn within the first 72 hours of birth to any fire station, police station, or any hospital throughout all of Los Angeles County. No name, no blame, no shame. And since we implemented the program, we have saved 83 lives. And I've had the opportunity to visit, to be at birthday parties for many of those babies that were just this close to being in a trash can or an ocean or a lake or someplace else, and their vibrant young lives that have the world before them, because we have these generous families that want and love and keep these kids. So if I have a legacy, I'm glad, hopefully it'll be safe surrender. This comes from Lakewood. With our economy the way it is and people losing their jobs, is it wise for us to send our fire personnel to Japan and New Zealand to assist them? Don't we have enough problems to worry about at home? I will tell you, Jamie and others, I've received that question on numerous occasions. And there's two authorized urban search and rescue units, one here in Los Angeles County, our county folks, and the other one back in Virginia, Fairfax County. This is through a United Nations agreement. We are fully reimbursed for all costs pertaining to any rescue unit that we're asked to go to, FEMA, USAID, and others. So obviously it helps us. I mean, because of our own nature here, these teams are trained right here. We have firsthand knowledge. We know how to do it. Unfortunately, because of earthquakes, fires, and floods, and the kinds of things we have here. But more importantly, it offers us an opportunity to serve those around the world in desperate need in a moment in time. It's not forever. They go for a certain amount of time, then they're brought home. But we're fully reimbursed for all costs. And let me tell you the other little thing that happens. In many cases, we have to ship equipment down there. And while it may be equipment's been used quite a while, we wind up leaving equipment there. And out of that, we get new equipment through the federal government to supplant that we left for those that are still working down there. And so, yeah, we have plenty to worry about right here, but also it's nice to be a good neighbor to those in great need. So I hope that answers your question. This is another question by Jan from Azusa. I understand the idea of furloughs. I'm just wondering if it wouldn't be more productive to offer them staggered days off so that offices could stay open 5 days a week and the public could still get things done. We could still save money with the furloughs and still offer services to the public. As I mentioned earlier on, as it related to the budget, with the cooperation of our employees, we've still not had to use furloughs or layoffs, and I know many and other state agencies and cities have. I think it's imperative for those of us in the safety net, and even with furlough days or staggered workloads, obviously those that relate to public safety, healthcare, and others are never impacted by that. But it is an important part that our public agencies are able to keep alive. Fortunately, we haven't had to use that, I'm not sure what the state's rationale is, and hopefully they would listen to you and stagger it so that their facilities are open as well, because that impacts us too, because we have to work with all the agencies. I have some more just coming in. Bob from Long Beach. How does Obamacare impact Los Angeles County? That's a great question. And the simple answer up front, and I'll try to explain it, is we really don't know. We know, and I believe, that we need some form of health care reform, whether it's through Obamacare or other programs. But we as a county can't be left with just the totally unpaid customer and those people that are uninsured. We have the largest, any health care reform is going to impact us greatly because we have the largest uninsured population in America right here, a little over 2 million uninsured, and several 100,000 of those are children. So obviously the impacts of any kind of reform would be dramatic here. We are a nation-state county. We're the largest county in America. We're somewhere between Ohio and Michigan as a state. And so the impacts of any of these kinds of reforms have a dramatic impact. The good out of it, the more that are insured, the better off that we are, and it will help us. And we'll have a cultural change here in the county because we're going to have to create centers of excellence, because at the end of the day, if it breaks out the way we think it should, we're going to have to be a competitor for that patient. So it may be our hospitals are centers of excellence, and we can't be all things to all people at every one of our medical facilities, but we can do the best job so that provide the excellent care for those that are uninsured as well as those that are insured. It's going to be a difficult haul. I mean, that health care, it continues to be our most difficult issue to deal with. It has been for years, continues to be, and so I don't think there's any disagreement that we need some form of health care reform. How it's paid for, you can't do it on the backs of small business, and you can't just do it on the backs of everyone else. It has to be an equal sharing of some sort, and there has to be available reimbursement policy that relates to public facilities that are obligated to law unless they change the law. So it's a very complicated issue. I hope I've answered it, and we'll just have to wait and see. The details, the devil's in the details as always. Oh, here's one. Very topical question. Well, how do I feel about what's going on with the Dodgers? Well, I think that obviously there's some significant issues. My first concern, forget the economics or whether the McCourt's owner or somebody else owns it, is the safety of the viewing of those of us that go to the ball field, and to be able to take it. Baseball is about America. It's about hot dogs. It's about everything else, peanuts and seventh inning stretches. It shouldn't be about having to look over your shoulder to see multiple police officers or things like that. That it should be a respectful public, and you should encourage that. And so I think the Dodgers' #1 responsibility is to the fans and whoever owns it, that they're going to have to turn that vision around. So one, they return to the O'Malley days of, it's a fun place to be and record attendance and those kinds of things, and support the team. Support the team, let those in opposition, because all across America, there's fans from all parts of the nation that have a home field ballpark, but they root for the opposing team. It's about fun, it's about family life, it's about having a great time at the ballpark and not having to worry about walking to the ballpark and walking back to your car in the dark. So hopefully, at the end of the day, that this move, whether the McCourts wind up with it still or some other owner comes in, that's all well and dandy. That pays the bills. But at the end of the day, it's all about the fan and the fan safety. And I think the Dodgers' current situation may be overshadowed by this, but the most important thing that they have to do is to really overturn and reevaluate the fan experience and bring them back to the good old days of the Dodgers. That was a long-winded answer, huh? This next one is, what is happening with hospitals here in Los Angeles County? Well, many of you out there have heard me say the most difficult decision that I ever made as an elected official was to close the trauma unit at MLK Hospital. We all know why that hospital was built, and out of the Watts riots and the concern for that community down there. But MLK has become an incredibly important part of our safety net. The impact of that closure has had dramatic impacts on both private, for-profit, and non-profit hospitals throughout the whole 105 corridor. And so it has a dramatic impact. So while that was the most difficult and most unhappy day, one of the best days, was to be able to be in front of the UC Board of Regents and to be able to work a deal with them for them to take over putting docks in there, an independent body to operate. We've allocated the necessary dollars for that, and hopefully towards the end of 2012, early 2013, MOK will be up and operating. As it relates to our other hospitals, we just spent a lot of money, and I'm part of spending additional money on Harbor UCLA and the renovation of the emergency room and operation opportunities down there. As you know, we recently reopened a brand new Los Angeles County USC hospital, Olive View, all the issues that we have to deal with. We have an incredible healthcare system, and we do a lot of work, and probably have one of the most premier hospital systems around, and we have one of the best in Rancho Los Amigos and Downey. It's been one of the top rehab hospitals in America, both public and private, and out of 138 hospitals right here in Southern California was rated number 7 recently. So as they continue to deal with those issues of either damage from an accident or a shooting or whatever it may be, they continue to do that, and we're going to have to do that with all our facilities. We have, we're trying to create centers of excellence in all our hospitals, and so we are thankful for what we have. As I tell everyone, if you like the TV show ER, go to Harbor UCLA or County USC on a Friday or Saturday night, and you'll see it's even more expandable than what you see on television. This is another one. We've got one more before we have to end here, but this is from Bob, and this is through Facebook. By the way, those of you on Facebook and Twitter, I appreciate that, and I know you say I'm friends, but I got some pretty good people here that are able to get into that. I'm sort of electronically challenged at times, but I do appreciate all the input, and I got my ass down. I get to see it every day, and so I really appreciate the communication. This last question: why does one in power want to address the subject of downgrading the salary of those in power? I'm not sure whether you're addressing salary reductions or whether you're addressing the issue of pension reform. The County of Los Angeles is, we're not trying to, unless you're dealing with a state or federal level that you may be referring to, as it relates to pension reform. This county started some 30 years ago, back in the late 70s, in eliminating certain retirement programs and picking up the contribution by our members and by our county employees. And so we've done that along the way. We did not offer the rich retirement programs. We stuck to our guns, as the entire board did, when times were good. And there's a lot of 3% of 50s out there that impacted other local governments that aren't impacting us. We have one of the lowest opportunities for retirement here in Southern California amongst our public agencies. So I'm not sure that this really addresses your question. I apologize for that. But we're certainly not downgrading the salary of those in power right now. We're just trying to maintain, and we're in a very, very difficult budget situation, one that needs cooperation, which we've had from our union friends, as well as management and others throughout. We're asking our county employees to do more with less. It's going to be a difficult road the next year or two. We are seeing some bright signs, a little bump in sales tax, a little bump in property tax. Nothing to jump up and down about, but it looks like it might be stabilizing. We're probably a little bit behind the rest of the country, but there's some good things happening, and that's what we have to do as a board of supervisors, me as your representative of the 4th District, is to make some hard decisions, but yet be able to maintain and do those services and be in the ultimate safety net that we're required to do by both federal and state law. I remind everybody at the end of the day, these are county-operated programs, not county-created programs. And so that's why we need the partnership from the state. We need the partnership from the federal government, and they have to realize the impact of those laws that they pass. When they may sound very good when they do it, financially they have a great impact on local government, whether it's a county, whether it's a city, whether it's a school district, or whether it's a community college district. We all have to work together moving forward, always remembering, we serve the constituents, the taxpayers of Los Angeles County, the state of California, and the nation. So it's a big job, an important job, one that I love doing, and I really want to thank all of you for tuning in today. We always try to stick to around 30 minutes. So if you have any more questions, please send them in, and we will get back to you. We really hope you enjoyed this opportunity to share a few questions and a few answers, live answers back. We encourage you to go to the draft budget opportunity to see what we do and how we do it and how the money's spent, and share your ideas with us. And we appreciate that. We thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day. For those of you celebrating Passover, happy Passover. For those of you celebrating Easter, happy Easter.